Yo, what up, how you doing, guys? My name is Sangiev. Welcome back to another video. Man, it feels good to be back. It's been such a long time since I've recorded. Obviously, a lot of the content that you have seen up until now were pre-recorded whilst I was in LA. I've been back for a week now. Time to get back into the grind. And I thought let's start off with a video that I've actually been promising you guys for a long time. And that is, as you can see by the title, how to build a smart wardrobe. Now, straight off the bat, if you came here thinking that I'm going to be showing you how to build like a formal wardrobe, this is not going to be the video for that. What I mean by smart wardrobe is how to invest your money in clothing and how to go about it in a smart way. I'm in a position where I'm able to purchase some really cool pieces, and it may come across as though I'm dropping mad money on these when most of the time I'm not. And so I'm kind of giving you a little peek into how I do things. I've actually written things down as well on my phone, so I'm not going to be faffing around. I want to be concise, I want to be to the point, and hopefully you guys can take on board what I'm saying and applying the rules to yourself. So we've got a few little tips or rules or whatever you want to call them, and we're going to jump straight into it. Number one, and I think it's most important one, is essentials versus investment pieces. I don't personally drop a lot of money on essentials, and what I mean by that is base layers. T-shirts, I'm happy just wearing a plain white, plain black t-shirt, Uniqlo, £5. You genuinely really can't beat that. Now obviously sometimes you can catch me wearing some vintage t-shirts like this one. You can catch me wearing some, I don't know, Hyder Ackerman t-shirts that have like an interesting cut, Rick Owens, those sort of brands. They have interesting cuts, it's justifiable, and I know that eventually when it comes to it, I might be able to sell it off for either the same price that I paid for, if not more, which is another point that I'm keeping for later. But yeah, just know what pieces you wish to invest money on. Outerwear, investment pieces. T-shirts, basics. Jeans, it can be investment, it can be basic. For the most part, I'm not going to splash a lot of money on denim and jeans, just because it's something that, being a shorter dude, I need to tailor them. And once you tailor anything, it's a really bad way of looking at it, but it's the truth. You kind of lose some value, it devalues the item, and so for that reason you need to make sure that you're buying jeans that you know you don't want to sell off in the future, and even if you do, you may be able to recuperate most of your money. And I think that's where my mind is at when it comes to clothing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll buy stuff that I want, but it's always in the back of my mind, would I be able to sell this in the future? If so, would I be able to make my money back, if not go more, or would I just be able to lose a tiny amount? For me, Acne Studios makes sense. You're paying 150 quid, I think they are retail. That's a really, really good price for a pair of jeans that hopefully you wouldn't need to replace for a very long time. Even if you do that pound per wear thing, which I'm a big advocate of, that's 150 wear. You're gonna get a lot more wear out of it. So to me, jeans, they fall into essentials because you're not dropping heavy bucks. So what I mean by investment pieces are where you put money forward quite a bit more than what you would normally, and you should be able to recuperate it. Yeah, you should be able to get most of it back, if not more, when you sell it off. Buying Grail worthy items. Now this one's a bit tough and you need the eye for it, but before I even go into it, buy whatever you want. If you like it, that's all that matters, buy it. But what I mean by buying Grail worthy item, try to have an understanding and try to see if the item has the potential to retain value or to go up in value. Now, some items, you just know that you're gonna wear this for like a season and then it's just gonna die off, and even if you do sell it, you're not gonna make most of your money. That's just how most fast fashion is. Now, a big reason why I'm not an advocate of fast fashion is it's almost like throwing money down the toilet, because you throw it, you purchase the pieces, 6 months to a year later, you get bored of the pieces. You can't really sell a Zara jacket or a Zara jumper for anything, so you just end up either donating it to charity or just throwing it away, which is a bit sad. So if you were to take that money, perhaps save up a bit more, but then invest on like a designer piece, you might A, be able to sell it off for the price that you got it for, and B, oftentimes they kind of, obviously you do have some pieces that are trend driven, and so they have that time period of 6 months to a year, but for the most part you're going to find some timeless designs which can hopefully last you more than a few seasons, and then you won't get bored of it. That's just the way I see it. So just buy Grail worthy items. It's easier said than done. Hyder Ackerman Velvet Bomber. When I purchased this, Hyder Ackerman was just like becoming a thing. Kanye West was wearing it, therefore people were aware of who he was, and people wanted his stuff. And this guy right here, I purchased it for a very, very, very good price. Unfortunately, most people won't be able to find it for that price that I did unless you have your little plugs or your hookups, but that's another point I'm going to be touching upon later. I know that this piece, when I purchased it, 5-10 years down the line, I can easily make my money back. And to me, that's a Grail worthy item. Cray green jackets, the pink one for example, or even the other one. I got it during the sale. I know that if I sit on it for a couple of years, I can make more than my money back. And I know that if I was to sell it today, I can probably make my money back. Buy Grail worthy items. Which then ties into a point that I've mentioned to you guys a countless amount of times: sales and sample sales. The question that I get asked a lot is, how do you know about it? Google it. It's the most simple thing. Put your city. I live in a big city like London where sample sales happens quite regularly. London sample sale 2018. There is plenty of websites that will tell you what sample sale is happening on what date, where they are. You go there, you copy your things, you're good to go. Sale happens twice a year in most cases. You've got the winter sale, you've got the summer sale, and man, you can come across some absolute steals. Now, a big tip that I would like to give you: shop with department stores just because they want to get rid of the stock. Let's talk about Hyder Ackerman, for example. You might find, if you go to the Hyder Ackerman website, they'll have their pieces, it will go on sale. Most times it will stick between the 40 to 50% range. Go to Selfridges, who also have Hyder Ackerman, and if you catch it at the right moment, you will find some disgusting steal. If you go during the last week, for example, Hyder Ackerman can easily be seen 70 to 80% off. In fact, last season, my girlfriend found this bomber jacket. It's there for £300. £300, a Hyder Ackerman velvet bomber jacket. It's just dumb. Go to department stores, you will find absolute steals. Now in London, Harrods, Selfridges, Harvey Nicks, Liberties. Anywhere across the world, I'm not too knowledgeable about that, but Galeries Lafayette, for example, in Paris, Barney's in the US, those sort of places, department stores, they sometimes lose out on money, but they just want to get rid of the stock, and they will do whatever they can in order to do so, because they've got a lot of brands to represent. They need to bring out the stock for new season. They don't want to hold on to stuff that are too old. And then similarly to that, another place for you to find some good prices would be secondhand stores like eBay, Grail, and any other selling platform. Facebook groups. Do hit up Facebook groups because steals pop up and you never know what you're going to come across unless you're specifically looking for a specific item. You can add them to your collection, you can rock them, you can do whatever you want, and then eventually when you do get bored, you can sell it. And I don't want to make it sound as though you should always think about selling your pieces, because in an ideal world, once we buy something, we won't get bored of it and we won't need to sell it. But truth be told, a couple of months pass down the line, maybe a couple of years, you become bored of a piece, or it's not even you become bored of a piece, you just find one that's better. You don't rock this one as much. It can go to someone else, someone that might cherish it more, and so you sell it. So Grail or eBay or Facebook groups are again another place for you to make smarter purchases. Not necessarily in the sense of, okay, I'm gonna buy it for 100 today and then sell it for 200 tomorrow, but if you know you're gonna rock a piece, a couple of months down the line, you can still make most of the money back, then mate, that's a big thumbs up. One in, one out system. Pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you want an item, or whenever there's something that pops up and you're like, I want this piece, look back at your wardrobe, see what you can substitute out, and to me it's a good way to kind of not overfill your wardrobe. I live in central London where space is very limited. All it is, fortunately, like, I've got somewhat of a decent sized room so I can keep my wardrobe, but even I am coming to a point where it's like, okay, there's not enough space for the clothing, and so this is a rule that I've really adapted and I'm trying to enforce on myself. Whenever I want to purchase something, whether it be a shirt, a pair of jeans, outerwear, whatever it is, I sell whatever I have, I make space for the new one, then I purchase it. And that's a good way as well to kind of really being able to justify the piece. And what I mean by that is the Louis V leather jacket, for example. I had a Rick Owens leather jacket, which I purchased in the sale last year. I sold that guy in order for me to acquire the Louis V leather jacket. I didn't put any new money forward to it. The Rick Owens leather jacket paid for the Louis V, and I didn't technically add a new piece to the collection. Does that make sense? I hope it does. That's how I work. So one in, one out. Same thing for jeans, same thing with shirts, same thing with jumpers. In fact, I've purchased so many things that I'm looking forward to showing you in my next pickup video, and it's going to be absolutely insane. Like coming back from LA, I purchased a shitload of t-shirts and I simply didn't have place for new t-shirts. So I had to sell off a lot of the older ones that I haven't worn, and there we go. A, I made space. B, I actually came out on top with money put aside as profit from selling older t-shirts, because I was able to buy Grail worthy pieces back then and I made smarter investments. Using applications, using your phones to kind of have a visual mood board of your wardrobe. Now, I am an advocate of this. I have made the mistake of sometimes buying something, coming home, and then I have something extremely similar to it. So this is a tip that I might recommend for you guys, using applications, for example, Snupps, to kind of create a online wardrobe of yours. You can create shelves. It just allows you to take pictures, you have a visual representation of what's in your wardrobe, and if you do have a bigger wardrobe and you might not necessarily know what you have at times when you go shopping, it's a very, very good way for you to do that. And if you're on the app, you might as well join your boys, join the group, Sangiev style. Everything will be in the description box down below and also in the corner right here, Sangiev, if you wish to follow your boy. But yeah, use applications like Snupps, or you could even use just pictures on your phone and have them in groups, but it just makes more sense to have Snupps. For me, it's just there, shelves are there. Buying things that will work with most things in your wardrobe. I pride myself in the fact that I can get dressed super quickly and hopefully come out looking sick, and the reason why is because I know that my wardrobe has a lot of interchangeable pieces that can make a fit look sick. I know that my tops would work with most of my bottoms, or I know my bottoms would work with most of my tops. Now obviously not everything is going to look perfect, and there are going to be some preferences, but you should know what will work with what. It's like that video I did with Magnus with the styling puffer jackets. He says,
Sangiev made this a challenge, but it's like, you should know your wardrobe. You should know exactly what you're gonna wear with it. So I might stand here for 2 minutes and then spend like 10 seconds getting the clothes on.
Now most people don't care about this. I only do just because I don't like to be like taking forever when I get dressed. I'm often like, cool, let's go there, let me get dressed, let me get changed, let me throw on something, and I'm somewhat good to go. Like I can easily get dressed in the dark and come out with something decent. I believe that that is due to a smart shopping and also just being fucking sick. But yeah, man, I think that is all the tips that I've got for today, and I wish to stress it one more time. It isn't about purchasing stuff just to sell. You're not a reseller, although if you are, no biggie, I don't care. It would be dumb not to have that in the back of your mind. Get yourself plugged. Easier said than done. And the biggest thing that I'd like to say to anyone, work in retail, climb your ladder, work anywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the big sort of fashion houses, or it doesn't have to be any big department stores. Even if you work, I don't know, in a high street store, and then you can get those high street pieces on a discount. I used to work at Next many years ago before I moved to the department store that I worked for so many years before finally quitting. So put the hustle, get the discount, build your plug network, especially if you're serious about this whole game, and I think you can build a successful and smart wardrobe. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to hopefully take a look at them and answer them, and hopefully have other people answer them for me as well, because that would be awesome, and that's what this community is all about. Thank you ever so much for your continuous support, man. If you wish to follow me on my social media, it's all right here in this corner, Sangiev. That is for my Snupps, my Twitter, my Instagram. I probably didn't even point it in the right direction, but whatever. It's all good. Have a beautiful day. Take care.